My name's Cole Strange. I am a loan officer with a company called Churchill Mortgage. And man, like a lot of calls similar to what you and I had yesterday. I'm getting a lot. So you and I had this idea of, hey, let's go live and interact with people and answer questions that they have. On my end, I can't see any comments that are made, but if anybody does want to ask questions of either of us, we'd be more than happy to. But yeah, I mean, I'm a loan officer, help people purchase homes and refinance homes. And because of how volatile the market is, there's just a lot of questions and a lot of uncertainty. So I figured maybe we could get into some of that.
Yeah, man, it seems like it's been changing by the hour, right? They've been going up, down, sideways, and we just don't know where that's at. And I know yesterday we had I had to send you someone was asking about a refi, right? And I had to send you some information. And you're like, yeah, 2 weeks ago that refi would have been at so and so percentage, and I sent it to him. He's like, what? This is crazy.
Right.
And so why do you think a lot of those, I mean, obviously the coronavirus is happening right now, so
Right.
that's affecting a lot of things. Why do you believe it's going up and down so much right now?
Yeah, so there is an extreme level of uncertainty in the market. And so when you have something like a virus, like a pandemic that's going on, all of the people the big money people, right, the movers and shakers of the economy, they're searching at this point for a secure investment for themselves and for the clients and people that they represent. And they're not sure where that is yet. That's where you see, the market, went up 10% today, right? And the previous couple of weeks, you add it all up, we were down overall, if not at 30%, almost 30%. So the swings are very, very dramatic. As it pertains to the mortgage industry, I'll give you an example of a client that I had a conversation with about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, when we were having the conversation about locking in their interest rate. And I had advised them, it's possible that the market continues to move down and you could get a better interest rate. However, we don't know, because of the volatility, if rates will continue to go down. The interest rate that you have that we're offering you to lock in is significantly lower than the conversation that we had when we worked on your pre-approval. So my advice to you, Mr. and Mrs. Client, is to lock in the interest rate. Don't get greedy. And fortunately, they heeded the advice. And this is another thing that we'll get into a little bit, but they had a very, very, very short period of time to lock in that rate. And they locked in, I'm not quoting interest rates here because everybody's circumstances are different. There's all kinds of things that impact that. But they locked in an interest rate for their circumstances at 3.375. The very next day, I priced out the same scenario, and they would have been at a 3.875, like that.
Wow.
And the market has continued to move where their interest rate would be well into the 4s, 4.5, maybe even higher. So like that's the type of movement that we may not even see in a whole year in the mortgage market happen like this. So that would be kind of an example. So what I've been telling a lot of people that I've been talking to, because now, the rates are up, right? And they've been up for about a week now. And surprise, surprise, people are still inquiring because they see the news. Unfortunately, oftentimes by the time that it hits the news, it might be old news, right? So what I'm telling most people right now is, hey, a lot of the market conditions right now point to interest rates going lower. We can never know that for certain, but they are, significantly higher now. Let's get your paperwork in now. And I advise this to your clients that are looking at purchasing homes as well, as, hey, let's go down that path now, so that if and when things stabilize, when they stabilize, because it's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when things stabilize. This thing will go away. When things do stabilize, you're positioned in a way where, there's going to be a lot of pent up demand. Who knows how long it's going to be, but there will be a lot of pent up demand of people that, are nervous about going out and shopping for homes right now. And when things do normalize, there will be a lot of pent up demand, a lot of people going out and shopping. You want to be at the front of that line, right?
Yep.
And the way you do that is by, starting to get the work done now so that you're positioned in a way to take advantage of purchasing a home when it's time.
Yeah, man, that's exactly what I've been telling my clients a lot of times. Like, hey, maybe right now there's not a lot of movement right now, but let's help you prepare to get you ready to get going. And whenever the thing is this is all this craziness is over, and all that starts with is a phone call, right? A phone call to either myself, yourself, and just saying, hey, what do I need to do now to get myself prepared? So maybe we can just go over a couple of things that say, well, let's just throw a scenario. Let's just say somebody has to buy right now, right? They're either coming out from out of state, or they just sold their house and they need to buy a home now. We know interest rates, I mean, compared to, historically, they're still not bad. We just really don't know
Right.
where we can lock them in at.
Right.
What would be some advice to give that person that's ready to go now?
That's a great question. The first piece of advice, and this will sound selfish, and maybe there is part of it is coming from a selfish place, but I would advise them to very, very, very early on in the process, figure out who it is that they are going to be working with and go all in. Because what I can tell you, when the rates were historically low 2 or 3 weeks ago, I mean, we saw some mortgages that started with the twos on 30-year fixed loans, right? Like some ridiculous numbers.
Yeah.
And what happened is, there were people that were, I would say greedy, right? I had people on the phone, hey, we've got a 2.875 interest rate. Oh, well, I heard I could get 2.75. It's like, this is nuts. But what happened is, when the market is volatile like it has been, that 2.875 that I, am able to provide that client, or 3.375, whatever it may be, in that moment is the opportunity to lock in. Don't get greedy, because those people that did and went and started making calls to other people, by the time that they came back, and I'm still having people come back around and say, hey, where are we at? It's significantly higher. Whereas the client that's committed to working with somebody, go all in, don't look back. I would say, find somebody that you feel like and can trust. My hope would be that it's me. If it's not, that's okay too. But find somebody that and can trust. Go all in, so that if the market, we literally see an hour or less, 30 minutes. I would love for you to have a chance to see, like, I get text message notifications and emails. It's like up, down, up, down, up, up,
yeah,
up, down,
I
down,
bet.
down. It's like every 30 minutes. And so when that happens, the rate's gone. It's not available anymore. So if you're in, as we watch it go down, 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 we lock it when it's down, down, down. But if you're going and having a conversation with a guy down the street, and in that time, it's gone from down to up, 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 and now you're at a loss, whether it's, negotiation of a lender fee of, $500 or an eighth of a rate. Like, don't get greedy. Figure out who it is that you want to work with, move forward, and, don't look back.
Yep, and I strongly suggest you choose Cole to go with. That's why I have him on here today. He's extremely knowledgeable. I could always go to him, and he always somehow has an answer for me, even though it's the craziest questions sometimes. So if you are looking for someone to trust, Cole is definitely the guy. And I know he gets all giggly because he probably doesn't like this, but he is the guy. Another question for you. What if we have somebody that's like 90 days out, Cole, and they're like, hey, you know what, throughout this time, I do really want to get prepared. What are some things that they can start getting together for us to kind of look over, whether it be their taxes, all that good stuff? What are some things that they can start getting together?
Yeah, so the basics, everybody's got different circumstances. So if you're retired, there's awards letters and different things that we collect. But the basic stuff, is going to be tax returns, W-2s if you're an employee, business tax returns if you're self-employed, pay stubs if you're an employee, and a couple months of bank statements. for sourcing the down payment that you're going to be utilizing. And the other thing that we're positioned well is, if people are on the sidelines because they're nervous about what things are looking at. And by the way, there's people that are still out there that are shopping,
Yep.
that are taking advantage of opportunities. So, not saying that this would happen to every buyer, but this just made me think of another thing that is happening out there is if you're under contract right now, that seller certainly does not want to put their house back on the market. Right? Like if you're under contract on a house, you've kind of got that seller, in a spot where, they're not going to want to go back to market, or most likely not going to want to go back to market. You're going to have some strong negotiation power right now, right? If you're under contract, because the seller wants to get out, maybe they're moving out of state, whatever it may be. So I don't, as I say, you're on the sidelines. That's not everybody. There are some people that are still out there that are shopping and are able to take advantage of the circumstances. So, I kind of lost my train of thought there, what you would ask. Just getting all of the paperwork in. The other thing that we can do is if you are on the sidelines, we can work on credit, right? Every 20 points of your credit score have an impact on your rate. And so let's say you're at a 700 right now and you're like, we're going to wait 3 months and see what things look like now. Now's a good time to pay down some debt or look at the way that you're utilizing the debts that you do have. We have a credit analyzer tool that gives us the ability to say, hey, like we're at a 700 right now. How do we get to a 720 or a 740 so that when it is time, to pull the trigger on purchasing a house, you're getting the best terms available. So, let's not sit idly by on the sideline. Let's be proactive and utilize the time that we have to position your buyers in the strongest place that they can be.
Yep. That's really good, man. And that's I think that was the whole point of this. We want people to realize, like, hey, right now is the time. Like, hey, there's a light bulb that just went off, and we should start getting our stuff together. Yep. Yeah, exactly. I was actually looking at that right there, man. And we should start getting our stuff together. We're home right now. We can do this stuff online. We can get all this stuff prepared, and all we have to do is make a phone call and really just do a Zoom call like this, right? We don't have to get together. Everyone's so worried about getting together. It won't be on Facebook Live, trust me. It will be a private Zoom call, but we can do this with you, and we can help you get on the right path. Cole, thank you so much for being on, brother. Any maybe closing thoughts that you may have for the people out there?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything, man. Thanks again for having me on the call. And if there's any questions, please, I really don't say this about everybody. You are one of the good guys out there. So if you guys are, popping on Facebook page here, I would strongly encourage them to reach out and contact you, because you have the competency and you care about the people that you're working with. Those two qualities are rare. And so,
Thanks,
let's get it done.
Yeah, same here, man. If you could do me a huge favor, Cole, once we're done with this, if you could go on Facebook and just put on the comments maybe a picture of your business card or something. If people do have any questions, they can reach out to you.
Cool. Thanks, man.
All right, guys. Well, you guys have yourself a great one. Thank you guys so much for being on, man. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, brother. Bye.